Take Christmas edition. Patrick's talking about trying to work during the Christmas holidays. What's up with him?
I just ask questions. We got football playoffs.
Hell, you out here, you trying to have us work. I'm trying to look. You trying to have us work during the holidays and stuff while we supposed to be sitting around being fat and drinking up and eating up all the fixings and stuff. Why you want us to work next week too?
Well, we have college football games that we'll have to talk about.
We do?
Yeah, the whole slate. You know?
Producer Pat, Carl Prather back for another edition. First of all, I would like to tell you all the maturation of one producer Pat. I'm going to start taking pictures. It's almost like what was the thing in high school where you had the Cro-Magnon man or whatever it is, where they were getting up to a human? Like, do you remember this thing? It was like a long strip.
Talking about like the evolution of man?
That's it.
Okay.
That.
Yeah.
That's what you are.
Okay. Into what though?
You have a fitted shirt on today. Your hair is manicured. It's shaped up. You got a part.
My wife told me I had to stop wearing hats. So that was a mandate.
Where it has to work?
In general, I think that is what she was hinting at. But yeah,
Amanda,
it was,
hold on.
She's in charge.
What she's like? Well, duh. What?
Yeah.
Hold on. My big question is, she looked you in your face and she told you why this sudden change? Man, you wearing dress shoes and chinos.
She said you're kind of in charge now, so you need to look the part.
That's what I'm talking about. Man, you said you married to a boss, and you want that man to walk and act and talk like a damn boss.
So there you go.
I ain't mad at it.
So that's your maturation. That's what it is.
Maturation. Look, y'all was talking about Cro-Magnon man and stuff like that. Evolution of Pat.
What are you?
I don't know.
Did you make that up?
I did.
Okay.
It sounded great. I don't know. The evolution of man. That's what it was. That's right.
I believe that's what it is. You keep talking and I will Google. I'm pretty sure it's the evolution of man is the chart that you were talking about.
It was on in high school and middle school. I remember it was like this long strip. It used to go across the teacher's wall and it would show the guy
That's what you're talking about?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it was in reverse. It was the other way where the little small part. Yeah. That's it. But y'all didn't think we were going to go through that on Take After Take. Are you excited for Christmas? Christmas is going to be here. Is Christmas on a Thursday, so we're a week away from Christmas Eve. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. You excited? You got everything? I got everything shipped and on the way. I bought some stuff today. We're taping this on a Wednesday to be released if you're listening to this on a Thursday. Yeah. I got it. I got the kid a couple of things. He wants some Pokemon cards, so I got to get a couple boxes so he can pull some Pokemon cards. So I may get him a good little card. He has a pretty good collection. But most of his stuff is done. She's done. I bought her stuff. Lazarus stuff today. Bought some stuff. She got it shipped. That's coming tomorrow. Then I bought my own self some stuff. Yeah. Okay. I don't need, Blake and Lindsay they already got some stuff wrapped for me, but I bought my own stuff. I bought some stuff. That's
okay.
Yeah. All it is some shoes and some socks and stuff.
Yeah.
And these Granimal outfits and Cat and Jacks I wear every day. Sweat. All I wear is sweat stuff, athleisure until I have to go in there. Yeah. And I got to go somewhere important. And that's basically it. And all else I want to do is eat all the finest meats and cheeses, and let the water and carbonated waters and the adult beverages flow for the next week and a half. We're going to Gaylord on Saturday. We do that every year. Couple of days. Go see the ice. Go and do the water park.
It's Charlie Brown this year.
Charlie Brown this year. Yep, that's what I've been told. Charlie Brown. Yep. Arcades, whole nine. Let the kid have fun. Then next week, outside of Christmas, old Pappy gonna just sit around and not do nothing. I may not even work out next week. Take a whole week off.
Take a whole week off. That's fine.
Come on back. 29th.
Come back on the 29th, yeah. There's a good football slate, both the college and professional, pretty much.
There is. If you didn't know, we got a 12-team playoff, and man, do we got a big one to start the whole thing all alone, all by its lonesome on Friday. Oklahoma hosting Alabama. Second time these two teams have met. Oh, hold on. Before I go to that, we were talking about this last week. Voice is coming back much better. Got a shot in the butt. Got some a Z-Pack. Man, I got a freaking sinus infection, but the only reason why I got it, how about this? How you get a sinus infection and you at home? And I got it because, I was putting up all the inflatables and stuff, Christmas inflatables and stuff like that. Normally when I do that out in the grass and the dust, you're pulling that stuff out and stuff like that, you need to clean my nose out. My sinuses are always bad. Forgot to do that. So yeah, I was like, went to the doctor on Sunday. They're like, you're not really showing me. I was like, I know what this is. Go ahead and do this now. Then on Monday, it was like, yep. So I went again. They were like, yeah, you're right. So got a shot. Boom. We back. So yeah, I'm glad my voice is coming back. Now, okay, back to the games. I think Norman, Oklahoma, Kaylee Tinglestad, our own KT, she's headed there tomorrow morning. You're listening. This should be driving while you listen. Electric. Out of control atmosphere. The atmosphere was already great a year ago when Jalen Milroe and company came in there when one Jackson Arnold rushed for $124, a couple of touchdowns, actually absolutely curb stomped Alabama and ended any hopes of the playoff for them. Initial thoughts before we kind of get into like matchups and offense, defense, special teams, the whole nine on the matchup as a whole. Bama 1.5 point favorite on the road, ironically enough, for this contest. Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I think the old adage is true. You know, it's hard to beat a team twice in one season. It's still not that much different from the last matchup, right? Like the same teams, both Oklahoma and Alabama still have the same strengths and the same weaknesses. Oklahoma is still ferocious on the defensive line. Alabama's offensive line has still struggled. Alabama's offense as a whole has struggled. They have an inability to get the ball to guys like Ryan Williams. They have an inability to run the football that showed itself in the Iron Bowl. And sort of the second half of Alabama's season as well. Oklahoma's still kind of the same thing. It kind of rides or dies with John Mateer. Which Mateer are you going to get? Are you going to get the dude that lit the world on fire the first 4 weeks, or are you going to get the one last 4 weeks that's kind of struggled? Oklahoma kind of coasted with their defense through some of the games. The offense did just enough to get the wins, and they're obviously in the playoffs. So, like you said, electric atmosphere, Norman, I don't know. I could see Alabama pulling out a close one.
I could. There's no way that anyone could ever say that like Alabama can't win the game. Obviously, we know Alabama can win the game when they're playing their very best. I just don't feel great about this whatsoever. So I've been on record talking to just other media members, and we've been discussing it and talking in the newsroom and stuff like that, everyone asking about Alabama. For me personally, there have been some highs and lows the second half of the year. Some positive that you can take away from that, but obviously some negatives and some things that are kind of been advantageous to like what they've been enduring like the last month of the year, right? I think any Alabama fan, without you deep diving into the X's and O's, understand they have issues, right? But for me, it almost seems to me that since the second half of the Vanderbilt game, since then, Patrick, it's like offensively, there are some things that have been left to be desired. Now, first thing, injuries have played a major factor in this. Parker Brailsford, bless his heart, we interview him after the SEC championship game, and he's limping around when we interview him. He's in and out of the lineup, going in and out during the game. Josh Cuevas, so important relative to the strength of the offensive line, being an extra extension there on the end, can help you in the pass catching from the scenario from that standpoint, down the field, up the rail, up the seam. Ryan Williams is nicked up a little bit. He's dealing with some injuries there. We know what happened with Jan Miller in the contest. He had to leave. He's expected back in this game. So for all intents and purposes relative to being off for a week, you're going to get some of those guys back. But we still actually have to see them do it as they play a defensive unit that has 41 sacks on the year. We understood when we saw them in Tuscaloosa a month ago how well this defense plays, actually being able to score in spite of your offense being struggling. You know, we talk about Alabama, but Oklahoma's offense has been very bad.
Yeah.
Across the board. Can run it, don't have any kind of dynamic playmakers outside of Isaac Satania. Guys haven't stepped up. But could we see a reclamation of one John Mateer, as you mentioned, was fantastic first 4 weeks of the year. Heisman Trophy, probably leader in the clubhouse for whatever that's worth after 4 games. He gets injured. Maybe the thumb and stuff, he's back to normal. Maybe that helps them. I think I'll be surprised if Oklahoma doesn't try to get off to a hot start. I just, going back to Alabama from that second half of the Vanderbilt game, I've just seen a small decline as we've went through the rest of the games. South Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and the Iron Bowl. I was on the sidelines before the game, and everyone's asking what I thought was going to happen in the Georgia game. And I can, on record, 100% emphatically say this, not lying. Everything that happened in that game is exactly what I thought was going to happen in that contest. Obviously, they got dominated. Many people thought they weren't going to make the college football playoff. They made it. I believe they should have made it regardless. But I just don't know how, from where you started with the loss of Florida State, picking yourself off the ground, playing exceptional football, having the very best resume in all of college football after 4 straight ranked wins or 3 straight ranked wins, whatever it may have been. And you add in the injuries, you add in the offensive line plays not been great. Without Ty Simpson, this team is a 7-win team. We can dance around this all we want. For everyone in Alabama land that are Ty fans or fans of college football and asking what's wrong with Alabama, and if you want to start with Ty Simpson, brother and sister, you all have got this all wrong. He's the reason why you're in this thing. Because if it wasn't for that young man, God knows where Alabama would be. First of all, I know damn well they wouldn't be in the playoff. Yeah. And you're looking at a mid-tier 7-5, 8-4 type football season with him. Be glad that you have him under center and trying to make things happen relative to the things around him that have not held up their end of the bargain consistently throughout the year. So I say all of that to say, I just think there's no way you're going to tell me you're going to be able to change offensive line play, how you're able to manufacture offense without being able to run the football, and going on the road against a team that has already played you, that has already understood like things that they can take away from you. They're going to dare you to try to throw it, knowing that you can't run it. I just don't like the matchup. I think Oklahoma's going to win the game. Can Alabama win it? Absolutely. I wouldn't be shocked if Alabama does win the game. But you're going to have a hell of an effort from those guys up front. And you're going to have some guys on the perimeter that are going to help you, because you're asking Ty to do so much when you are void of a running game, Patrick. It is not advantageous when you're dealing with a team like that if you're not trying to attempt to run. I don't care, Alabama and Ryan Grubb. You got to still run it and go north and south with this group. All this to the edge and to side, A gap, B gap. Just have a semblance of just run it. It may be mundane, it may be boring, and it may be 1 or 2 yards here or there, but you got to at least attempt to try to run it. And at some point, give Ty a third and manageable so that you're not trying to put it all on him. And I just don't know, relative to what we've seen the last 45 days or so from that offensive line, to make me believe that this is going to be any different. And in all actuality, it may be worse.
And this was, if you go back last year, Ryan Grubb is the play caller for the Seattle Seahawks. A lot of the problems that Alabama's having on offense right now, the Seahawks had last year, which is why they moved on from him. They couldn't run the football. Now, it could come down to this is 2 bad personnel groups. The Seahawks, they had offensive line issues. Alabama has offensive line issues. Now, the thing that's crazy, again, we talk about, there's NFL talent that's along that offensive line. You'd think that these guys would play better.
I mean, listen. We've said this since the beginning of the year. Arguably, the 3 best players on Alabama's football team are 2 of those are from Washington, and Parker Brailsford and Jeremy Bernard.
Yeah.
Ty's been excellent. Left tackle, I know everyone thinks that this guy is the greatest lineman of all time. I don't know Caden Proctor. Never met the man, been around him. Not going to expound any kind of ideas on the kid. He's not played well.
No.
Newberry has not played well. There's a reason why you're seeing guys getting rotated in and out. It has left a lot to be desired. And this is just not for Alabama. Hell, we've been talking about this across college football. There are very few offensive lines, albeit a Miami, an Ohio State. I'm just trying to think of off the top of my head, like teams that maybe Oregon a little bit, Indiana can do it from time to time, that are moving people.
Yeah.
Nobody's moving people, dude.
Yeah.
And be able to seeing Alabama's offensive line and stuff, trying to pass guys off and stunts and twists and stuff. It leaves a lot to be desired, man. I just don't know, Patrick, how you're going to change that in 10 days.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what was the Oklahoma's best pass rusher, best defensive lineman? He didn't play in the first match.
Mason Thomas, he got injured.
Yeah.
And I believe it was the Tennessee game before that, so he was out, and he's expected back because he's been out the entire time. So now you're asking 32. He's a little smaller stature, but God, he can get off the edge.
Yeah.
But I've said this: my favorite defensive player in all of college football throughout the whole year. He's been in a rotation and out, but I think he'll have a big year in 26. I love David Stone, number 0. I think he's awesome. And I don't like the matchup at all. And now, in Alabama's defense, you're -3 in turnovers. You gave them 3, that turned into 17 points. Ty throws a pick 6, 2 others equals 17. If really, to be honest, if you take away those 3, they're probably going to win the game. So you have that going for you. Anyone in their right mind thinks like playing on the road and doing this. I was listening to Sirius XM radio, college football radio, earlier this morning, taking my kid to school, and Dusty Dvorak was hosting the show, and he was talking to his former teammate Teddy Lehman. Outstanding. First of all, Dusty Dvorak was a dog at defensive line back in the 90s, early 2000s rather. And Teddy Lehman, number 10 or 11, he was fantastic at linebacker. There, just could run like the daylight at linebacker. But Dusty asked Teddy, like, man, is this going to be the biggest game in the history of Oklahoma football? And Teddy was like, man, that sounds crazy that you're saying this, but man, it probably is. That place is going to. It felt loud to me when Alabama came there last year in November.
Yeah.
Man, this place is finna be unglued. That is a major factor when you're dealing with an offensive line that's trying to get proper checks, false starts, the whole 9. Communication is going to be a key. It is huge. So, I just believe that 2 Saturdays ago on the field inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Patrick, that when I watched them, I just felt that's what it was going to be. And I feel like Saturday, if I had to put some dollars on it, I would say that this is going to come to a climactic end for Alabama. I think it'll be all bad. I just don't. I'm not saying I don't have any faith in Alabama to win the game. I just, relative to Oklahoma and them being at home and the momentum that they have, making the playoff when we thought, how I felt about them in the preseason. Thought they were a sleeper playoff team, and the back end of their schedule wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be relative to what the other teams were doing. But to make it that way, if someone told you Oklahoma as they were in the first 4 weeks with their starting quarterback having a broken thumb, the injuries that they've had to navigate all and to get here, and Brent Venables, when everybody, including us, saying, "Man, you may be gone," I think they very well may play their best game.
It could. I think this thing's I think it's going to be ugly. I don't think it's going to be like
first to 17 can win. First to 13 can win it.
I don't think it's going to be an aesthetically pleasing game the way some of these other playoff matchups might be. I could just see it be a rock fight.
Interesting.
15-10, something stupid like that.
Let me pose this to you. Which team do you believe would be able to make more explosive early on in the game? Alabama, Oklahoma?
Alabama, because I think Alabama has playmakers that Oklahoma doesn't have.
That's a good point.
Oklahoma doesn't have a guy the way that like Ryan Williams could potentially be. Now, Ryan Williams, I don't think has played up to that caliber.
He played his best game in the SEC championship.
He did.
He was fantastic.
So, for as good as Oklahoma had, they don't have a guy like that. So, at any point, you could throw the dude a screen and he takes it 60 yards and makes a couple guys miss.
If you go back and Tide fans can, it's a mundane, quote unquote, play with Ryan. But there was a play in the second quarter with about under 9 minutes of play where he just took a small little screen and outran the. I've watched that play like 30 times. It is amazing what type of talent and what type of electric playmaker that guy is. And you're mentioning, he's getting kind of back to normal. But all it would take, Patrick, like as you mentioned, one footwork not right, and that cat is out the gate. And you're right. It could shut that whole place down. I'm just interested. What I'm very interested in with Alabama is the plan offensively.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in how they're going to attack this. Man, you don't understand how big it would be for like Four or Jam or Kevin Riley or AK Deer to be able to like break a big run off early on. That can do so much for their team.
Yeah.
So much. Is it? Do you try something through the air early on? In turn, the Bowen brothers and all that back there, like Kip, Lewis, Kip, and I don't know, man. That's the big thing. I'm just interested in like what the plan is going to be for Alabama offensively. I think, listen, for the most part, the defense has been pretty solid. Let's be honest. They've got to carry their water. They've had some, their eye discipline has been my biggest concern with them since week one. But and it showed up from time to time across the board throughout the season.
And I think it's unfair against. I just think Georgia's a top tier program. Like,
they're incredible.
Yeah,
and they're getting. I'm just happy that they're not happy from the standpoint, man. They're getting better.
Yeah,
they're white hot right now, dude.
It's like you look back at that and you'd be like, oh, Alabama lost to what was eventually the national champion. Like, it's all right.
I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. That's why I think it's gonna win it all. I think Georgia Bulldogs are going to be your national champions. I think they're playing their best football at the right time. It's been amazing to watch Kirby Smart navigate this new 12-team playoff world, how to understand that, how to be able to depth. They are this. I was talking to a couple of guys, Alabama guys in our newsroom, and I remember telling them last year and stuff like, they don't want to break down and just say that Georgia is the standard in college football. No, they are.
Yeah.
Like he wins it. He wins, especially if he wins this one. Like, what else is there to say?
We've talked about Georgia a lot since we've been doing this podcast, and it seems like if you want to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, neutral site at home, doesn't matter. You have to play absolutely perfect.
Correct.
They can afford to make a couple mistakes, and they'll still win the game. The thing that jumped out to me in the SEC Championship game was just Georgia's tackling. Whoever caught the ball, that's where you caught a 7-yard slant, you got tackled for 7 yards.
That's what I'm so glad you mentioned that. That's the one thing since Kirby's been there, but especially during these championship runs that have always been so impressive. The way they tackle.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see them miss a tackle. Like, you catch it, arms on you, you are tackled. That's where you will stop.
Yeah.
It's been incredible to watch. And slowly but surely, a lot of people are not really paying attention. They're getting closer and closer as far as their pressure because they hadn't been able to generate sacks. But they're getting closer, like that Alabama game, getting closer, got to tie a couple of times, in the backfield a little bit more, and I feel like that's going to continue to grow as they head into, awaiting the winner of their game, when they get ready to play in the Sugar Bowl. So yeah, no, your pick, you believe Alabama's going to win the game?
No.
Yeah,
I think I got to take Oklahoma.
Listen, once again, we're not saying this in the, like, I, in my hearts of hearts, believe Florida State was going to win that game. I've had talked about it through all summer. I didn't have the courage or my convictions to actually pick them, but I just felt like it was just dangerous. And it turned out the way that I felt. I just didn't have the guts to do it.
Now, I think John Mateer could throw him a couple, and that changes things.
It really changed things. But what if he connects with two of them?
And that's,
then this thing is going to get out of sorts quickly.
Yeah.
Here's what you don't want to happen. It gets out of sorts, and then we start talking about what's wrong with Alabama, and fans are going crazy the whole nine when you're dealing with, to me, one of the top 6 coaches in college football. So, I'm going to go with Oklahoma. I think they win. I think they win going away. I just think the defensive pressure. I think they're going to come away with another takeaway that's going to manufacture into points. I think it's just going to be too insurmountable throughout the course of a game relative to the issues that I believe Alabama has, most notably on the offensive line. And I just think, much like Ty and Kalen and Ryan Grubb and have mentioned throughout the week leading up to Friday, they've all just discussed how great Oklahoma is in disguising their checks and their coverages at the snap. And that's one thing that Ty has kind of had to deal with. The first half of the year, everyone was, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist, the whole nine, blase. And what started to happen as you got to the middle of the year, some of the defensive coordinators and stuff, the picture was perfect. Nick Saban, it's funny, Nick Saban mentioned it on a game day telecast. And he's right. Just watching the 22 and being able to watch the TV copy and the 22 copy. Ty did a fantastic job when the ball's hiked and coverage is the same. What defensive coordinators in the middle of part of the year as we headed to the last part of the year started doing, hike it's not what the picture's not what he thought. So now you're having on top of you're not getting the type of protection that you would like to have, and then it's all out of whack. So,
and that just comes with experience.
Correct.
This is Ty's first year as
Come
a
on
starter.
back, Ty. You're gonna be excellent next year. You're under fire, and you've been awesome.
Yeah, I
It
think
has chapped my ass.
I agree with you. If Jalen Milroe was on this team, they win 7 games.
Yes, man. Well, like, and it's no knock. It's no knock against shit. It's just the sum of the parts are not what it was a year ago.
Yeah,
And it just chaps my ass that the first thing that some, because I don't want to lump all Alabama fans together or national football fans or fans of college football, the first order of business is what's wrong with Alabama is Ty Simpson. And it is the farthest thing from the truth.
but that comes with the territory of playing quarterback.
I get it.
That
but
comes with the
dang,
territory.
dude, like, what else do you want this man to do? This man is like his completion percentage under pressure. I would love to see that. Like, this dude is doing everything to try to like make this work without a running game.
Yeah.
Man, that's difficult, man. You're asking a quarterback at this level to be able to be efficient, much less otherworldly, or whatever you may, Heisman Trophy final, whatever you may be. When you don't have any semblance of a running game, they can't run it.
Yeah.
So you're one dimensional, man. Like that's hard. That's hard for Ryan Grubb and whomever. It's just very difficult, and I just don't see how that changes, Patrick. I don't. In 10 days, you're not. That's not what you are. Now, lightning can strike. You could, like I said, Four could break off a big run. Jam could break off a big run and change everything. But can you sustain it? Can you do it consistently? And I just don't think they can. I think the season comes to an end and emphatically for Alabama on Friday.
And if it does, I think Alabama fans just need to take a big, deep breath. You're going to be fine. This is the new age, the new landscape of college football.
And your coach, you have an elite coach that was basically one game away from the playoff a year ago and made the playoff in his second year.
I mean, that's
excellent recruiting class, can hit the portal, the whole nine. I mean,
I would bet on him figuring it out.
Yes.
I would just do that.
What?
I think that's a safe bet.
I tell you what.
With Ty Simpson coming back.
I tell you what. Let Caleb DeBoer be on the market, and when Marcus Freeman decides to go to the NFL, which he's eventually going to do one day. Let him. Caleb, you come as a fan of the team in South Bend. Come on, South Bend. We'll take it. He be on the market. What?
There's a team up in Michigan too.
There's a team up in Michigan. Yeah. These rumors what are they going to end, dude? What?
Oh no, they're not going in. Let him lose Friday. They're not going to end.
You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. Patrick's taking Oklahoma. I'm taking Oklahoma as well. And then, of course, on Saturday, man, it's Katie bar the door. I'm going to make sure I record all those. I'll be kind of peeking in and out with those games being in Nashville. But, man, I just love the playoff. I think we have some quality matchups. I know everyone's talking about James Madison and Tulane, and I get it in it. But, I mean, heck, for me, it's a really, really good slate. We can start with the big one. Like, to me, Miami, Texas A&M. Man, I mean, talent galore, Patrick. College Station, it's going to be going absolutely bonkers. Your thoughts early on in that game and paths to victory maybe for both? And then ultimately, who do you believe that can come away with the win?
I like Texas A&M. I've liked Texas A&M all year.
Yeah.
I would expect their defensive front to get after it, Marcel Reed and company to make enough plays on offense. It's Miami, so it's Mario Cristobal. I would just bet on him doing something dumb throughout the game to get them beat.
Patrick. Come on, Patrick.
I mean, I don't think he's a very good coach.
You don't think he's a good coach?
I think he's a fantastic recruiter.
Okay.
I think he's a fantastic personality guy. X's and O's, time management, clock management in the game, no. In-game adjuster, no. I do not think he's a very good coach.
If someone could tell me that Carson Beck is not going to throw it to the other team, I would feel really good about this.
Miami, another team, maybe peaked a little too early.
But, man, their offensive line is they got some, man. But these two teams got dudes, man.
Yeah, a lot of NFL scouts in the house for this one.
Everybody probably has credentials to that, right?
Yeah.
The flip side to this, I've said this about Marcel Reed, and we've talked about it. I just want Marcel Reed to make the layup.
Yeah.
He don't make a lot of these layups. This is not the team. Put it this way. If Miami's up the way South Carolina was up second to last game of the year, you're not winning. The team's too good. Can Marcel Reed continue to develop his game and continue to be consistent enough to make the layup, the short, intermediate? Forget the deep ball. Can you play on time? Can you be able to make plays out of the pocket, but make accurate plays out of the pocket? I went back and forth with this game. I swear, man. I some days I'm like, man, I think Miami can win the game. Some days I think Texas A&M can win the game. I will give the slightest of edge to A&M from the standpoint of the crowd, tight situation. I just think that they can get to Carson enough to be able to get the job done. They got the best wide receivers. Now, Corley at Miami's a freak show as a freshman. But Concepcion and Bussy and Craver, like, they got some dudes, man. Owens in the backfield, like, offensive lines are great for both sides. I just think that Texas A&M will make maybe 1 to 2 more big plays and come away with the win. But man, Mesidor Bain, boy, if they can get going, man, and
yeah,
I mean one big hit, fumble, pickup, scoop, fumble, turnover in plus territory could change the game. But
I mean, we saw this with Abdul Carter last year at Penn State. There was a game he just absolutely took over. Notre Dame game.
Just a wrecking crew.
So like, could Bain do that? I don't know.
Yeah. I'll go with Texas A&M in that one. They'll if they win, the winner of that game will meet Ohio State in the quarterfinals. Tulane and Ole Miss had their way with Tulane in the first meeting earlier this year. Kyle Retzlaff did not play well. That was like he was just on campus for a couple of weeks anyway. It was all bad for John Summerall and company there. John is juggling 2 jobs. So the Tulane trying to finish the deal with his guys, rightfully so, getting ready to try to get his spring and stuff together for Florida, going back and forth with between those 2 jobs.
He's got a quarterback in Florida that's hitting the portal.
He's hitting the portal, correct, man. So like, there's a lot going on in Gainesville. He's trying to get that squared away. I think Tulane will play better, but I think all of the things surrounding Ole Miss with the Lane situation, Pete Golding, those guys are going to be playing with their hair on fire. I think Tulane can make it a game. I just think Ole Miss is just too much at home. But I think Tulane's going to be game. I think if you look up in the second quarter and this is a 7-point ball game, it's a tie ball game, like you shouldn't be surprised. Because I think Tulane is going to bring the fight too. But I'll give the edge to Ole Miss. I think they win. I don't know, relative to your first meeting to now, if you can close the gap with the margin of victory enough to flip it on its head. Ole Miss is going to have to do some things wrong from a turnover standpoint to keep you in the game long term, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think Ole Miss, what you said, I think they're just going to be too locked in, given everything that's happened to them. Yeah, I don't see this being much of a game.
Tulane Ole Miss will face Georgia in the Sugar Bowl in the quarterfinal of that contest. We've already mentioned Alabama and Oklahoma, the last game of the first round of the college football playoff. It'll be in Eugene, Oregon. James Madison on the road against Oregon. Bob Chesney's already took the job at UCLA. Will Stein for Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks, offensive coordinator, on the way to Kentucky to become the new head coach for the Wildcats in Lexington in 2026. Alta Stadium's going to be out of its freaking mind. I had an opportunity to watch James Madison early in the year. They played Louisville, and probably the resume would actually be better had they beat Louisville there with that non-con win. Isaac Brown had a long touchdown run, Patrick, in that contest. Really just had Louisville confused, Miller Moss and company, in that game. It was a Thursday night game, I believe. But Isaac Brown had a long touchdown run that flipped the game on its head late in the fourth quarter to come away with the win. But James Madison is real. I just think they're about to get the doors blown off them.
Yeah.
Like, relative to what James Madison wants to do as far as on defense, playing in space, and offense playing in space, that falls right into Oregon's category. Like, that's what they want you to do because they have better players than you do. Don't know how healthy they are. I believe I heard reports that Decoria Moore may be back. Don't know if I'm sorry. Either Evan Stewart or Decoria Moore, one of those 2 guys are going to be back. I think it's Decoria Moore's going to be back. I think Evan Stewart is done until next year. Sadiq is a dog at tight end, 18 or 19 there. He's ridiculous. I just think this thing is going to get out of sorts quickly. Now, it's going to rain there, so I don't know what that looks like relative, but I think running the football in space that Oregon runs it in, relative to kind of the sets and bases that James Madison runs in space, is advantageous for Oregon to win this game. I think you name your score. I think they win. There's no knock against James Madison. I just think of all the teams that you want to play, that's not the team that you want to play relative to kind of does some of the things that you do in space.
Yeah. Yeah. No, agreed.
All right, man. So let's just do this. Tell me who you believe will win the national championship, and then give me a team that you think if they don't win it, we'll go with two. Who you think is a team that can win it all outside of? No, I'll tell you what. Pick the national championship and tell me a team that you don't believe is as good as they believe they are relative to being in the 12-team field. So give me a team that you think can win it and a team that could go home early, maybe like one of the top 4 seeds or even in the first round.
I will say I think Georgia. I think Georgia has a very good shot. Team that can go home in the dude just won the Heisman Trophy. I don't know. Am I crazy for not really fully believing in Indiana? Now Indiana's. I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, no, they legit. Nah, you.
Okay. So I'm crazy?
Yeah, you crazy. Yeah, they're, to me, outside of Ohio State. First of all, I mean, you're undefeated. That's one thing. But like you've been the most consistent team. But man, like. Yeah. I think the reason why is like because they don't have any quote unquote household names. They just got a bunch of transfer guys, old guys. You don't know anything about them.
It's Indiana.
Like the emblem is the story.
Yeah.
Like because you got to be real. Like how many people really watched Indiana last year? But more importantly, how many people really watched Indiana this year? You were waiting for them to fall to the wayside and lose, and they've kept winning. But people are not. The average college football fan is not watching them.
Yeah.
Much like myself. Like no, they're real. Good offensive line play. We know about Mendoza. Really good wide receivers. Defense is as sound can be. Don't make any mistakes. And they just kind of impose their will on you.
Yeah.
And you look up and you're like, dang, like, and they're not afraid of the moment. You watch the Big Ten championship game and stuff, especially down the stretch when you're trying to, ice the game away. Look about some of the deep balls that they went up against that secondary back there. You got Caleb Downs is no slouch back there.
I mean, that's an NFL-style defense they're playing with Matt Patricia.
And what amazing throws that Fernando was able to make in tight windows to give his receivers chances to win those 50-50s, right?
Yeah.
And hitting on them every time. No, I think it is real. Put it this way. I would be hard-pressed if Alabama wins this game and goes to Pasadena. I really like Indiana. I think it ends. For Alabama, it's either going to end Friday or it's going to end January 1st.
And how, if they play Indiana and lose, what more of a sort of passing of the torch? This is a new era of college football than having the prestigious blue blood Alabama Crimson Tide lose to what was the second most losingest program in college football history?
Kansas State, the most losingest since I forgot when, but the most losingest program.
Yeah. I mean, hats off to Kirk Cignetti. I do think this is absolutely incredible coaching job this guy's done.
Back to first coach in the history of college football to win back-to-back Coach of the Years. It's incredible.
And again, I think it goes down to, especially in college football, man, so much of it is like a culture.
Yes.
He's talked on at nauseum on these 60-minute interviews and things like that about that's what he had to overcome when he got there. They're basically just a bunch of losers.
Correct.
And he was like, well, we're not that anymore. So change the facilities, change the mindset.
Patrick, there's no way in hell a young Carl that would has been, as an intern, been to Bloomington. And Bill Mallory is the only coach I know that's had any marginal success there. Cam Cameron had some really good players there. The Anton Randall years and stuff. I actually saw Anton Randall and Tim Couch duel it out in Old Commonwealth Stadium back in the day. It was an amazing game. It was so fun to watch. But, man, they don't have any history. Outside of was it Anthony Thomas that was a running back for Indiana? I have to look that up. But he came in second in the Heisman voting in 88, 89. They beat Ohio State that year. That was the last time they beat Ohio State. But they just don't have any history. They've been awful. Awful.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing. But it also goes to show you that, we say this all the time. We look at some of the blue blood name programs. You see the Texas, the Alabama, you see the Michigan, you see the Notre Dame. People would fail to remember when this NIL world opened up, there's a lot of universities that got some serious coin that can come to the table and play. And people don't think Indiana has a lot of money. They do. The Northwesterns of the world, the Vanderbilts of the world, the Texas Techs of the world, Penn State. If you really want to play, they can play. And they got a lot of it. And that's the kind of common denominator and the kind of great equalizer as we've head into this new age of NIL. You're going to see, I say this all the time, there should be no way if you are serious about FBS D1 Power 4 football that you're not doing everything in your power to put your university in the right situation relative to the dollars and cents that majority of these universities have. You just got to care about it.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it boils down to. You just have to absolutely care about it. So, no, it's been phenomenal to watch Cignetti and what he's been able to do and back it up. And the confidence that this team plays with, man, is what makes it that much more impressive. But who in the hell had on their bingo card that Ohio State, that Indiana's going to be the number 1 seed overall in the college football playoff in 2026? No chance in hell. It's amazing, man. It's just an incredible story. But yeah, I like Indiana a ton. I'm going to tell you a team that people I know, listen, they've had a fantastic year. Arguably the largest payroll in all of college football. Oregon should beat James Madison, right? Mm-hmm. Oregon's going to play Texas Tech in the Capital One Orange Bowl. I've said this, and I know Oregon's not done it. They've done everything but win the national championship. I'm not concerned, but you have to go back and look with Texas Tech. How many dynamic offenses have they played during the year in the Big 12? Really had, like, their defensive line is great. Got a lot of old guys, but guys that can fly around like Oregon.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen it. I like Oregon a lot. Georgia, Oregon, Indiana, obviously Ohio State. Those are the ones that I'm like, yeah. I think, and I would be shocked if it's not if the national champion is not insert Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, or Indiana. I think, to me, those are the teams. I like Oregon to beat Texas Tech, and I like Oregon and Indiana to play each other, and I think it'll be a battle to the very end. Wouldn't be surprised if Oregon won it. I can see a Georgia-Oregon national championship. I think Ohio State can win it too, but I like Georgia a little bit better to get to that point. But yes, I'm very interested to see how Texas Tech plays against a team that loves to play in space and can be dynamic on offense and kind of move away from said defensive line that they have to contend with to be able to, like, create explosives and manufacturing offense. So I would go with Georgia. The team that I'm concerned about is Texas Tech, but I like Georgia to win a national championship. I do. I think they're playing their best. That was the best I've seen them play all year from a complete game standpoint, Pat.
Yeah.
They were fantastic. So, yeah, I like them a lot. Little transfer portal news. We mentioned it. DJ Lagway's in the portal. Your thoughts on DJ? We have no clue where he's going to go. He's going to go to a pretty high bidder there. I heard someone saying that the potential he could go with his coach to James Madison. That's not happening.
No.
He's going to command a high dollar. Dylan Raiola is going to command a high dollar. Why do I always keep forgetting Arizona State's
Levitt.
Sam Levitt. I always keep forgetting Sam's last name. Sam Levitt. They're all in the portal, man.
Yeah.
And probably, relative to what happens in Michigan, may have another guy in the portal as well.
I was going to say, you might have a little flip-flop.
May have a little flip-flop.
Might be old Sam Levitt sporting the big M up there with his new coach.
So, just your thoughts on the quarterback. You were kind of on. It was funny. I was thinking about this when kind of the news came out with Raiola and kind of came out with Sam and then of course DJ. You were on it like last year saying, you didn't understand why like somebody like Quinn Ewers wouldn't just like hop in the portal and go command $6, $7
I don't understand it.
Now he's going to get his opportunity to play in place of Tua, but what he would have been able to command on the open market in college football if he would have just got himself in the portal.
Yeah.
So it's just, listen, quarterbacks in college football are going to be making more, especially if you're not a first rounder, more than you would make in your rookie deal your first year anyway. So why would you not take advantage of it? But yeah, I'm very intrigued to where this market is going to go for quarterbacks. It's just going to continue to go up and up because they said like $4 million is the starting price for a quarterback.
Yeah, and coming with that though, you're going to have to produce. These people are signing you to get wins. Look with DJ Lagway, like obviously the freshman tape's better than the sophomore tape. So then you have to go back and you say, okay, well, what was
He was
that
injured
then?
in the summer. Didn't really get to play a lot of football in the summer.
So, is it coaching? Is it maybe the talent around him wasn't as good this year as it was last year? Now, somebody will take a shot on him, pay him a lot of money. I would expect for him to be, if not the crown jewel of the transfer portal, at least up there and command a kind of a high dollar, 5-star quarterback coming out of high school, dual threat guy. There are moments with Lagway this season where he could not stop the bleeding. One mistake happened, and then one mistake turned into 4. What was it? The game against LSU looked like he was shell-shocked on the sideline. Like, again, does that come from youth? Is that just a part of his psyche? Like, you don't know. But these are the kind of questions that these coaching staffs around the country are going to have to ask themselves. Much like the NFL draft, they're going to have to go back to some tape and they'll be like, okay, figure out what went wrong. Because for a lot of these guys, a lot of the reasons they're seeking greener pastures is because something's gone wrong or something has not lived up to expectation. So I don't know. He is a mystery. Dylan Raiola, I know a lot of people like him. I don't really see it with that kid. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Best,
I think above average at best. I don't see why. Again, if he was this good, Nebraska would pay for him.
Yeah,
they'd pay to keep him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sam Levitt again. Like, I don't know how good that guy is.
I think he's really good, man.
He could be.
Yeah.
We said the same thing about Drew Aller. A lot of people said that coming into this season. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, Sam can ball, man. He's a baller, man. I like Sam a lot. The thing that I want,
but like how Mendoza wasn't a big name in the transfer portal.
But see, you remember though? We discussed this last summer. I was like, when he went to Indiana, man, that was the one. I was waiting to see who their quarterback, because Rourke from a year ago, who's on the 49ers practice squad, like, that dude can play, man. And I just wanted to see who the signal caller was going to be for Cignetti. And when he got that dude, and I'm just familiar with Fernando because I just have, obviously they played Auburn last year, but I watched a couple of their games. I watched the Stanford game at the end of the year, a come from behind win. I watched obviously the Auburn game, but I watched the Miami game. And I was like, man, this dude can go help a P4 group, a team that's like a contender. And when Cignetti got him, I was like, oh, like this kid, now we're cooking again. We're cooking again. Albeit I didn't think they were going to go and be undefeated, but I thought they were still a playoff contender, 100% with the roster that they had. Biggest thing for DJ Lagway, in my opinion, DJ has to say to himself, and I believe this, I want to be coached, but I need to get my fundamentals back on track. His feet all over the place, mechanics not great, great arm talent. But arm talent is only going to get you so far if the rest of this is not, in alignment, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important for wherever he goes, someone's going to coach him at the position and be able to harness that and develop him, and he continues to grow. Because let's be real, it's almost like this was a lost year for him because you really didn't practice and be with your team and be able to go through OTAs, I like to say, in spring and summer because you were injured. And then they just throw you into the games, and you didn't see any time. Dude, like, you made some wild plays in your 2 years in Gainesville. But the flip side to that is, like, I don't know if you've improved that dramatically enough for me to say, hey, this guy is open box and work. He needs someone that's going to help him from the base up to be able to make this work. And the psyche, as you mentioned, that one INT or one mistake then turn it to 4 because we know it can happen at that position. And
it's going to look different when you come in and you know how locker rooms operate. Yep. When you're the highest paid player and you're the quarterback, if that thing goes sideways and these other dudes on these other 21 dudes on the starters are busting their butts and you're the reason they're losing games, that's not going to sit well with a lot of people.
Interesting to see where he goes. He's from the Texas area, from Texas, so interesting to see if he wants to maybe choose a Baylor or something like that outside the Houston area or something like that. So very intrigued at what DJ does, but he's going to be a big name. No one is talking about Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, and he legitimately may be the best one out of all of them. Dude can play, and he's going to command. There's a lot of names: Raiola, Lagway, Levitt. And nobody really is talking about Sorsby, who efficient, highly productive, and can help somebody, put it this way, as I mentioned, open out the box and be ready to roll, that's that dude.
There's a lot of dudes in the portal this year that played a lot of football.
Yeah, man.
Which I think is advantageous to their next team.
He would be right up there, if not 1A for me. He's shown me enough at Cincinnati with Satterfield and stuff to make me realize, like, man, he's smart enough to know, let me hop into this portal and make some money because he can flat out play. He can help somebody.
There could be a guy like a Trinidad Chambliss that's in D2 somewhere that we don't know about that comes in with the right coaching and the right situation. Ball out. That is the beauty. I know fans like to bicker about the transfer portal and NIL. That is the good part of it. The Cam Ward, Trinidad Chambliss' story where the guy just works his way up. We've seen it now with Cam Ward and Chambliss. So there's a dude out there somewhere that some coaching staff's going to identify. I'm sure who's going to come in September after a starter gets hurt and set the world on fire. And we're like, where did this dude come from?
It's going to be interesting. We'll end it with the NFL. Your season's been a disaster. It's bad.
It's been over for a minute.
It has. Here's the thing. I have the Sunday ticket, so obviously, I always want to watch the 49ers, but obviously 49ers normally play Central Time 325. Have you – they don't even show the Titans games on TV.
I haven't even – I'm about to say, I have not even been able to see a Titans game 3 out of the last 4 weeks. It hasn't been on television.
So obviously I watched them last week because they played my favorite team, the 49ers. Love the competition, love the way that they competed. They don't have any players. They're not very good. The guys that are playing exceptionally well are your young guys. So Chad Brinker and Berganzi, they've done a good job with the last draft class. I love Gunnar Helm. Obviously love Cam Ward. We had a discussion with one of our colleagues saying that he didn't think Cam Ward can make it. I'm like, are you crazy? Like, how about? Yes, he can.
You go back to last year's class. First 3, J.C. Latham, Tavondre Sweat, Cedric Gray. Jury's still out on J.C. Latham, what he's going to be. I think the jury is set with Sweat and Cedric Gray. Those guys are going to be stalwarts in your Cedric Gray, leading tackling on the team. I think believes 4th in the NFL in tackles. I mean, he runs. He's all over the place. So, yeah, it's been a rough season.
It's been bad.
And then you go to the NFL as a whole. Man, catastrophic season for injuries. The stars.
And, we're about to have this is a playoff that we're going to look back, Patrick, and there could be some new household names created and becoming stars before our very eyes just because they're new. A lot of people don't know about them. There are going to be some small market teams, the Jacksonvilles of the world. I mean, I think people know Trevor Lawrence from his Clemson days, but the way that he's playing, like in Liam Cohen and that team, they go on a little run. He may be a household name, the long blonde hair, the whole 9, right? But you look on the other side and look at some of these teams in the NFC. And you look at some of these teams in the AFC. It's going to be a highly competitive playoff on both sides. The 7 seeds can make it to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I am very intrigued. Here's what I'll ask you. We hadn't even discussed the Texans, how C.J. Stroud just completely turned over. Like, they're playing so well, man. And defensively, they're crazy. You're a Titans fan. You head into the offseason. You're going to be picking 1 or 2. Which one?
Will be 1, 2, or 3.
1, 2, or 3.
We'll be in there.
Would you rather trade away said pick to acquire more picks, or do you want to stay there?
I would be willing to listen to offers to trade away. Part of the problem is going to be who is going to come up, because usually when you come up, you're coming up to get a quarterback. I don't know if a team's going to be that sold on Fernando Mendoza, and if they are, it's going to be probably one of the other 2 teams that's up there, either the Jets or somewhere like the Raiders, someone like that. So then you might be the Titans. Say if you have the 3rd pick, Mendoza, the Jets are already there, they take Mendoza. Well, he's off the board. And then if there's nobody else, if there's not a Dante Moore, if he sets the world on fire, much like a Jackson Dart last year, seeing all this stuff, maybe he jumps up. If I was the Titans, I would just stay put and take the best player. And I think the best player in college football, I think he's been the best player in college football the past 2 years. I think it's Caleb Downs. I know he's a safety, and people can be like, oh, value, they like to attach all that stuff. Man, at this point, the Titans are so inept in talent department, right? We have nobody. We just need a guy who can come in. If you draft Caleb Downs, much like what we said about Tyler Booker last year, I promise you Caleb Downs is going to play for like a decade in the NFL at an all-pro level. Like, I would just bet my life on that. So just take him. If you're the Titans, you have a guy. Now you have a young dude in Cam Ward lead the offense. Young guy in Caleb Downs. Again, playing in an NFL-type system under defense coordinator Matt Patricia. Started for a freshman as Nick Saban. How many guys have done that? So, yeah, I would take Caleb Downs. They're probably not going to. It'll probably be a dude like Bain. Because, edge rushers and things like that, corners, they tend to have more positional value. But, just take the dude who's been good and productive for 3+ years in college, been a part of postseason teams. Last year, led them to help lead the defense to a national championship. At some point, it does matter the type of personalities you bring into the building, particularly when you are a franchise as young as the Titans are in terms of the team age and just whatever culture you're trying to build. Whoever is the head coach next year, it's probably going to be Mike McCarthy, which is going to absolutely send me over the edge. But yeah, I like Caleb Downs. I would take him.
Just take the best player, right?
I would honestly take Caleb Downs even if we had the number 1 pick.
Jeremiah Love interests you? Running back?
Yeah.
Just being dynamic, catch it out of the backfield, help you as a pass catcher?
Yeah. Now, he going to suck on the Titans for a couple of years because we ain't got good. We don't get good offensive line.
Maybe put him out and slide, roll him out.
Yeah. No, I think Jeremiah Love and Caleb Downs are
two best
I
players.
think the two. Yeah, and I don't even think it's close.
I do too.
If the Heisman was just given away for who's the best player, not necessarily the quarterback for the best team, I think you absolutely would have to give it to Jeremiah Love.
Yep. Like, subscribe on Apple iTunes, Spotify, the whole 9. We have this live Thursday. We're recording this on a Wednesday. Leave us a comment, 5 stars, review. We will continue to roll on. Got some really big things for our podcast area. We'll be kind of come back after
I'm about to say we might have video by the end of January 2026. Might be our pretty faces again.
Pretty faces again, man. You wait till you see the reclamation project of one Patrick Akers. Amanda, you did good, girl. Boy, you got this man out here looking like extra on Yellowstone out here.
An extra on Yellowstone.
Yeah, Yellowstone. You look yellow, very Yellowstone-ish.
I don't think you've seen that show. If that's what you think I am.
Yeah,
I'm in a Ralph Lauren polo shirt.
You are, but you look like you could be. You could be walking and talking to Kevin Costner about some there's a fence line that's bad or something. And you need to.
You've not seen Yellowstone.
I have seen Yellowstone. I watched the first season. I started the first episode of the second season, and I hadn't watched anything since. I like it. It was good. I just didn't finish it.
Yeah. I don't think
you don't see
Yellowstone.
It.
No.
Amanda, tell me I'm wrong. She's gonna say you're wrong.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, yeah, that's not right. That's Yellowstone's cowboy hats and cowboy boots.
You don't have to wear. I mean, if you put the cowboy hat on, they're like, okay. But if you just
and that dude that dresses in all black, wears the gloves.
Yeah, dude don't play.
Yeah,
he's badass.
Yeah, I think I also have not watched Yellowstone. I've seen the TikTok clips.
Yeah, I watched the first season. It was good. I just, I'm more into all the Real Housewives and all the trashy reality television.
Yeah,
it's my thing. We appreciate you all listening. We will be back probably next week because Patrick's gonna make me work, which is fine. We'll be at home. I'll be drinking coffee, maybe some in it, and just enjoying all the finest meats and cheeses. For Patrick Akers, I'm Carl Prather. Merry Christmas to everyone, and we'll see you back here next week.